Hello, this is Mark Botzer from the mossad-ALF blog, and I'm trying to make this movie now for the third time. I hope this time it's gonna work. And this movie is gonna be about how am I doing the matchups. What is my method that I'm using to make the pictures for my blog? And that's what I want to show you right now. Now I'm making my blog pictures for 12 months about, and I'm following the Well Aware 1 blog for about 24 months, so another year. And because this website of Ed Chiarini, or the character Ed Chiarini, is so amazing, and it has opened my worldview and has shown me things I never thought I could even see. I after some time I started to see these things everywhere, and so I started to make my own matchups. It was only logical, and so I've been doing this now for about a year, and I have a method that works very well. I have here in this false flag data dump. In the meantime, like everything that Ed Chiarini put out or other finds go in here. And in the meantime, this is 2 gigabyte, 20,000 files and folders, and constantly growing. And I want to show you very simply how I'm doing stuff. Everything starts with a template. I have a folder and I copy that one. Then I rename it. Let's say Mickey Mouse is blah blah blah. And then I have already the folders that I need in here, like one for frontal pictures, one for 45 angle, and one for a profile shot or 90-degree angle. And this is where later the comparisons are put in, and when I have enough I can start a new thread on my blog and upload. This is for family members, this is for the partner, the spouse, and this is the handwriting. And what I always need is Google. Let's see, I want to see if Mickey Mouse is someone else. Then everything starts with pictures. Sometimes I even just drag the pictures from the overview first on my desktop. Now in this case it doesn't work because you can see the cursor is changing its appearance, and this is only going to create a web link. I don't want a web link, I want an actual picture. So let's see if we can find an actual picture that I am allowed to steal. No, it doesn't work. So that's why I have to put it into the trash bin here. Mickey Mouse seems to be a tough case. So let's see if we can find Daffy Duck instead. We look for Daffy Duck, and finally you can see this image I could copy without creating a web link. Then I see what kind of angle it has. This one would be a 45, so I have to name it accordingly, like Duffy 45. And now I create more and more pictures. This one will only be a web link. This one also not good. This one web link not good. This one no web link. This is a good one. Okay, another Duffy picture, and this here would be, let's say, also a 45. So it goes in the 45 folder along with this one. And so I'm filling these folders now, finding more and more pictures until the folder would look probably like something like, I don't know, but let me see. Like in this case here, this is Billy Graham. Like here I have a lot of frontals already, and a lot of 45, and a lot of 90s, and mostly also an autograph. And then I start comparing, and I'm not twisting the pictures around using OrphanView. Like when I hit Control and U, I have the rotation menu, and I can add any increment I want, like -22 or -44 or 55 or +44, and I can turn the picture until it's exactly how I want it to be. Most of the time I want the ears to be straight up, so in this case I might make it -44. and until I have the ear how I want it to be. And then I can take another picture, like in this case Derek Bryson, and I press H on Earth and View. It's gonna twist. It gives me it flips the picture to the other side, and then I can put the ears up against each other. It's that simple. And I've been doing this now for such a long time, and already we can see this is the same square antitragus here for both men. This is the same person. And what I'm doing then is I'm using the snipping tool of Windows. It's gonna open, and I'm gonna take a screenshot like this. Then I'm gonna use my red marker to highlight it, and then I make here Graham. And this was Bryson. And then I write on it, let's see, same ear or something like that. Very easy. And if I have the time and if I'm in a really good mood, I'm probably make a funny little drawing like this, probably with an eye and some hair. I'm doodling around just a tiny little bit. It's not that hard easily. I'm not much of a painter or an artist, but there's always the same character that I'm painting, and probably a little speech bubble here where I write something into it. And that's all there is to it. And I'm gonna save it. Something like that. And it's gonna end up on my desktop. Of course, I'm not just making this once. I mean, I'm making so many. And it's oftentimes with one picture, I'm getting multiple comparisons, because, I mean, in this one picture alone, you can make the nose, you can concentrate on the mouth, or you can concentrate on the skull or the ear, or the entire face. And you don't need many pictures, or you don't even need high resolution pictures. You need the eye to see things, and that's really all there is to it. And then later, like, everything goes into the compared folder right here, and when I have enough comparisons, I'm gonna upload it to my blog and make a new thread, and you guys can watch it and smart up and get wise. And that's how I'm doing it. And if I'm not so sure about something, or don't know yet if it's the same guy or not, then I put it into the process later folder here, where I have the clock on it. And yeah, and then I keep working on that until I have like battled down this whole thing a bit, and there's only a couple dozen left, and then I start again on the desktop. And everything I uploaded, like if I uploaded, for example, let's see, I don't know, any one of them, then they go into the false flag data dump. So everything that is on the blog already will end up in this data dump right here. And this here is when I make a list. Let's say when I make a list like Daffy Duck is also Mickey Mouse, and is also Adolf Hitler, and is also Mother Teresa, etc. And his brother, by the way, is Lauren Michael, and is also Dallas Goldbach, and is also Tony Greenberg, and is also Mark Butzer. Then I do it like that, probably add a little bit of fat color here. It's always great to have the birth dates handy, because they are really important. And so then again, I take my snipping tool. Of course I save this file. I have to save it first into the right folder, and then I again take the snipping tool and make a list. And that's how the list is going into the blog later on. And that's how it's done. And another really cool program is Balabolka. It can turn a text into an audio file, so it's a text-to-speech synthesizer. Really great, but I haven't used it so far on the blog. And but I used it for different things. I have another bunch of special folders, not this here. This is only the Second Life viewer. I don't use this for the blog at all. I have here scanned a really awesome book that we have lying around in our house, and it's called Zeittafel der Weltgeschichte. It also helps a whole lot to find matches, because it shows you from the dawn of time to later ages. It shows you perfectly the different cultures and their rulers lined up neatly in chronological order, along with the Bible timeline. This is such a cool book. It's incredible. And for example, when you like have stuff like here, Sargon of Akkad and Phoroneus exactly starting out at the same time, you kind of wonder, and that's already a clue you can investigate. Or let's see, when you have like here Triopas and this guy here in Assyria at the same time, you also can investigate this one, and so it goes on and on. Or like here, Sun Noi and this guy. You see, that's how I'm working with different sources. I'm not only working with one book or one website. No, I'm trying to get my hands onto every source I can possibly come up with. And this book is definitely amazing, but I haven't used it very much so far. But you have to admit it's an amazing book, and so that was that one. Then I also downloaded from Wikipedia many lists of rulers, because many of these rulers are playing in different countries, different emperors at the same time. So what I started to download is, let's say, the entire list of Muslim emperors. The whole web page is an HTML document including all the pictures. It's always good to have some sort of picture. And then you have it right on your desktop. You don't even have to use the internet. List of Muslim empires and dynasties. So that would be one example. That was not a very good website to show what I was doing. Let's see what else we have here. Like all the kings of Assyria on one web page. Will take a couple seconds to load. But that's another great source. I'm using different languages here, because sometimes the German edition is better, sometimes the English edition is better. You have to see what it's like. So right here you have all the rulers of Assyria, on one web page, including names, proper names, time span of the rule, and some additional comments. This is so amazing. And you have the links already at hand. You just have to click and get further info. And this is proves very useful as well. Sometimes I'm using this. Even you have pictures in some cases, like here. All of these statues. And sometimes you have also amazing detail. You will not believe how much detail you will have in the most ancient depictions sometimes. Here you have Assurbanipal working as a slave on a special day of the year. Just one example. That was that folder. List of rulers. Then I have done something else. I have downloaded all sorts of categories. Let's say I was looking for a painter and a sculptor, and every time you type the name on Google, it gives you a nice overview. It looks kind of like this, with a name and no, that was wrong. Like, let's say Albrecht Dürer, and you have the birth date, death date, some family like a spouse, parents, or a sibling, some of the famous works of him, and then a portrait. And like, you only type a word or two words in Google and already get all this info. And I started to cut and paste those and put some color on them and then put them into the right folders. And I always have a time span, so I know about the time is very important because this is pretty much the only thing you can manipulate. You can add 20 years plus or minus, but you can put on a different hat, different beard, or different coat, but you cannot alter the time. And that's why the time matters a whole lot. And I always try, now whenever I do something new, when I name the picture, immediately I have the time there, so I can already see if it fits or not. And like in this method, you can find many more alters in a short amount of time, like not just one or two, but like 5 or 6 or 7 even. And so that proved really helpful. And because when you now, like when you start like to go through your folders and like, you know, Chopin, born 1810 and died 1849, which of course is a joke because he died probably at a much older age. But then you can put here like 1810 Chopin. And then later, when you are working on a guy who lived about the same age, all you do is go through the search mask of Windows and you only type in 3 letters. And it already gives you all relevant people, and you just kind of have to see through the list. Like here you have another guy born around the same time. This was Red Indian. Or this guy was also born around the same time. So going after the age and the birth age, it is a lot easier. Like with this search function is very important, very crucial. And yeah, by the time I have many more different folders for many different sorts of people. Some of them you've seen already on my blog, some of them you haven't. Like here you see I've already added all the timing already, all the birth dates. So that was the categories. And this here I discontinued, I didn't use it, so we can throw this away. So this is basically how I'm doing my blog. And yeah, like I said before, I've been doing this now for 12 months. And these folders here on top, and this is my blog right there that you've probably seen already, probably not. I'm not as famous as Alex Jones, but that is not the goal. And I'm pretty satisfied. By now I have like 600 blog posts already. It's a whole lot of, it takes a lot of energy and time to gather the data, then to wrap your head around it and spend time thinking about it. Is it the same guy or not? Then make the matchups, then put the paint to it, doodle some paintings, like draw a bunch of cartoon characters, and then upload it to the blog. And then you have to write also the text for it, and you have to add the right video, and you have to add the right title, and then you have to see that the layout fits, and then you can upload it, and then you have another blog post. And that's how I'm doing it. This is my first blog ever, and I like it. It's very easy to use, very fast to upload, and I'm really satisfied with it. And these folders on top here are also amazing because like Dallas Goldbach only was dealing with relatively modern people, actors, presidents, writers, etc. But with the time I realized this shit is going back so far. It amazes me how far this is going back. And so I started to categorize finds of different times in history. And some of the finds are so old you won't believe how far they're going back. Like here I found a guy that lived in 2300 BC. Yeah, so some of this stuff is really amazing. And then in this folder here I have all the Greek philosophers. All these Greek philosophers you learn about in school also were alters of people. They were not just a philosopher, they were at the same time also a politician and a general and a writer and an artist, etc. That's how it was always in the world history. Like here you have Socrates, who really looks like a mean little dwarf. He also was the same guy as Demokrit, who gave us the word democracy. The same guy, same face. He was a really evil little dwarf. And so everything boils down to timing. So you have to have the data, you have to have it available on one click or one word that you type into the search bar, and then you have to have already the birth date ready at hand. This is the most important stuff, and all the rest you can later look up on Wikipedia. Sometimes it helps a great deal to have the family tree already. Also helps a great deal. And then you can start comparing and find out that King Croesus of Lydia, the richest king in the world, was the son of Nebuchadnezzar, Elias, many other people. Nebuchadnezzar and Thales, and what do I know? This was his Greek philosopher alter, Anaximenes, same guy as Croesus. You can already see he is a royal son here, a very royal, stately appearance. Minted some of the first coins ever minted in world history, and even on the modern coin he is depicted as King Croesus. And here he was in Lydia, and like King Solomon, he squandered away. He was so rich by a powerful father, richest man in the world, and squandered away his whole kingdom. Afterwards also Lydia was disappearing from the world map. So it's very easy to find matchups, very easy to find these alters. Once you have an eye for it, it's really not hard. And so of course this takes time. I haven't gone out much in the last year. I think I have not gone out any day. I can't remember. I don't have a social life, I don't have hobbies. I've done this blog now for a year, and I've put all my lifeblood into it. So when you read through my blog, yeah, know that it cost me something. It cost me health, it cost me time. But I hope that you can profit from it, and I hope that you are enjoying the blog. And if you write something back, I'm always curious to hear what you think about it. Alright.